What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud with Cap Show, college football week 6 recap. Really some big upsets. And the biggest upsets of them all was Missouri over LSU. MIZZOU. Shout out to my pops. He graduated from Missouri. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. I can't believe LSU, defending champions, national champions, now they're only won one game so far. To me, that's crazy. To me, it's saying, look, you can go from the top to the bottom really quick. It's just a snap of a finger, dude. Just like that. I cannot believe it. But we do know about LSU. Your season's over. I'm sorry. Even if you win out and say you do beat Bama, which you probably won't, but let's say you do, you're not going to make the playoffs. You are done. No two-loss team should make the playoffs this year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, dude. I don't want to hear any excuses. No two-loss teams. Okay? I'd rather have a one-loss MAC school team come in than a two-loss SEC team. I know that sounds ignorant, doesn't it? But seriously, it's ignorant to say a two-loss team should go in. But hats off to Missouri. I cannot believe it, dude. It's crazy. Their quarterback, Connor, he had 406 yards and 4 touchdowns, dude. To me, it's crazy. They just dominate. I mean, they just scored more than LSU, and we haven't really seen an LSU defense this week before. I mean, how many times has Missouri put up 40-plus points on LSU? Like, please check it, because I don't know. I cannot believe it. LSU's quarterback, Miles, he actually had a pretty good game, 430 yards with 4 touchdowns. But it's crazy, and I talked about the over-unders in college football. I'm leaning more towards the overs a lot in these because we're starting to see that college football, some of these teams don't have a good defense. They have a weak secondary, a weak defensive line, don't put pressure on the quarterback, and that's why we're seeing these high-scoring games in the games. It's just like 40-plus for each team, dude. I mean, crazy to me. But shout out to Missouri. Well deserved. That was the biggest upset of the week. Obviously, I did not pick that. I got that pick wrong. I really thought LSU was going to win. I didn't think anything about Missouri, but Missouri, I mean, let's go. If Missouri wins out, no, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they can, make a good bowl game. Well, let's say the least. They can make a good bowl game. So shout out to Mizzou, LSU, long season ahead. Your national championships for a repeat are done. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You guys are not repeating. Those chances are long gone. Then we got Texas versus Oklahoma. I picked Texas in this pick. I really thought, Texas would show out. Sam, their Texas quarterback, he had a pretty decent game, but not really. He had 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Yeah, with 287 yards. To me, that's not really cutting it. Oklahoma got the job done. But both these teams right here, Texas and Oklahoma, they will not make the playoffs either. Like I said, no two-loss team should make the playoffs. Spencer Rattler, the Oklahoma's quarterback, he had 209 yards with 3 touchdowns and just 1 pick. Okay, so in their running back, TJ, he had 22 carries for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was the difference maker of them being able to run the ball, use some play action, utilize that, and really exploit Texas's defense. I mean, Texas hasn't been good since what? Vince Young? When they upset USC, that was lucky for sure, but that was the last time they've been really good. It's really sad. I want to see Texas football be back on the map. Kind of like Indiana basketball. I want to see them be back on the map. It's just better for each sport, dude. I'm telling you what, dude. When is it ever going to happen again? I don't know. Hopefully that time's coming. Then we got Virginia Tech versus North Carolina. I picked the over in this one, which it cashed out. The spread was 5. The over-under was 59. Went over. Cashed out, baby. I love it. Sam Howell, the North Carolina quarterback, he had 257 yards with 3 touchdowns. Mike Carter, he had 17 carries, 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that was really the difference maker. Them being able to run the ball and really having Sam throw the ball down the field as well. And they beat Virginia Tech. And North Carolina's undefeated. So, like I said at the beginning of the season, yes, they got to play Notre Dame and Clemson. But let's say, hypothetically, North Carolina runs the table, which I don't think they will, okay? I think Clemson is definitely the favorite right now. But North Carolina, hey, they're undefeated, and they will get in if they go undefeated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They'll get in. Now, another upset that I did not see coming, yes, I picked Florida Gators over Texas A&M. Texas A&M won at home in a big game. Their kicker hit the game-winning field goal as time expired. 58 was the over-under. Went with the over, got that right. To me, Kyle, Florida's quarterback, he had 312 yards and 4 touchdowns. Had a pretty good game, but it wasn't good enough, right? And I really think the Florida Gators defense really bailed out on certain coverages where it was like, really? You're going to let Texas A&M do that? And for Florida, okay, there is some bright future for Florida, right? Obviously, if they win out and win their division, obviously they will go. But it's still a long way to go. We still have a long way to go. We still have Big Ten to come back yet. We still have the MAC to come back. We still have certain conferences to come back to college football that haven't even laced up yet. So to me, there's some hope for Florida. SEC's here. Let's get it, Florida Gators. I still have faith in you, and I still think they can run it. And then we got Tennessee versus Georgia. I went heavy on Georgia here. I said money line maybe, but prior to the game, I was heavy on the spread. 12.5. 43 was the over-under. Went with the over. Like I said, the spreads are where the money's at. 12.5. Georgia's legit, dude. I mean, Georgia's quarterback, Bennett, he had 238 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. They're legit, dude. I mean, and they got the biggest game of the whole year, Georgia at Bama. I mean, this is going to be great. I cannot wait for that matchup. But Georgia, dude, obviously they haven't really played Bama great in the past couple years. Really lost in a couple close games where they should have won. But Georgia, like I said, they can beat Bama. No doubt about it, dude. They can beat Bama. If anyone can beat Bama, it's Georgia Bulldogs. No ifs, ands, or buts. I like it. I like this pick. I can't wait. I cannot wait till this weekend and see what's going to happen. Then we got Florida State versus Notre Dame. My team, Notre Dame. What did we find out about Notre Dame? Look, Ian Book had a pretty decent game, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. But what did we find out about it? We found out that Notre Dame is still Notre Dame. They will probably still lose the big game. I mean, let's be honest here. Can they beat Clemson? No. That's what's going to happen, and I hope I'm wrong, but I really see it happening that Clemson's going to go into Notre Dame and really embarrass them. And I think, obviously, Ian Book has to have a game of his life to do that. To even make it a game is what I meant to say. Ian Book has to have the game of his life to make it a game against Clemson. Like, seriously. But for me as a Notre Dame fan, it's been heartbreak after heartbreak. Not just in the Catholic Church, from the rapists, from everything that's sketchy inside the church right now, but I'm saying for the football aspect. Losing big game after big game. I want to see Brian Kelly this year win us the big game. And when I say win us the big game, beat Clemson at home. Because I guarantee you right now, if Notre Dame beats Clemson at home this year, they are in the playoffs. That's their ticket punched right there. But that's a big if, dude. The way Clemson's been playing, dude, I don't see anyone touching them. Williams, Notre Dame running back, he had 19 carries for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. I like this kid, man. I think if Notre Dame really utilizes him more down the stretch, even against Clemson, I think add the play action pass to it. And I just think Book sometimes just wants to scramble out when he doesn't really need to, right? He can throw it down to the check man. You don't need to really scramble out in certain situations. Obviously, it's good. Obviously, if you're like a Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson, but come on, Ian Book. You're none of those guys. So chill out on the scramble and stay in the pocket more. Take less big hits. But like I said, Notre Dame, can we win the big game? That's really what it boils down to in their season. Can they win the big game? Then we had UTSA versus BYU. BYU is 35.5-point favorites, and I told you do not do that. I said go money line. If you guys win on the spread, you guys are dumb. You guys are ignorant. You guys don't know anything about football if you really did that. Come to find out, BYU only won by 7, 20-27, dude. So to me, it was definitely the money line. You didn't get much with the money line, but you still got something back. Call it tax money, if you will, okay? Zach Wilson, BYU's quarterback, had 292 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. Tyler, he had 19 carries for 116 yards and 1 touchdown. They're running back, BYU's rolling, but let's be honest here. BYU's schedule's weak, therefore they will not get into the playoffs. We got Texas Tech versus Iowa State. I had Iowa State here with this cover, the spread. The spread was 12.5. They won by over 12.5. Good game. Brock, Iowa State's quarterback, had 302 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, he had 135 yards with 2 touchdowns on 27 carries. Look, this kid's good. I could see him going in the NFL someday, really fulfilling that backup spot, and then eventually becoming a starter. I could see that happening. Then we got Arkansas versus Auburn. Auburn, 13.5-point favorites. Win on that. cashed out on that. Auburn looking pretty good. Bo Nix, he had 187 yards with 1 touchdown. They barely won on this game. But hey, a dub's a dub. It doesn't matter if it's in college and NFL. It doesn't matter even if it's in high school or Pee Wee League. A W is a W. As long as you get the win, that's all that matters. Ask Bill Belichick that. Okay, ask him. Then we have the U versus Clemson, and I said, look, I was kind of hyping up the U. I really thought that U would really come out differently than what they did. But look, dude, Clemson's legit. I mean, Clemson's my pick to win it right now. Yes, after watching Bama this weekend, they were dominant. Running games, dominant. Shout out to Harris. Crazy. He went off. But Clemson, dude, I'm telling you, Travis is running back. He had 39 carries for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence had 292 yards with 3 touchdowns. I mean, dude, I'm telling you what, this duo and what Clemson's doing right now, I don't see anyone beating Clemson right now. Not even Notre Dame. Let's be honest here, dude. Clemson is on fire right now. They are a scary team, and I'd say Clemson and Bama are the best teams right now playing. No doubt about it. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen for the future for Clemson, but I'm calling it right now. Clemson's going to make the playoffs. They're punching their ticket into the playoffs, and it's really how good is Trevor Lawrence going to play his last year at Clemson. We could say it's his last year because it is. He's going to go to the NFL. If he could have went to the NFL draft this past year, he would have. He would have went, dude. He would have went, but hey, everything happens for a reason. You got to stay at least 3 years in college football. That's just the rules. Although I don't really agree with that. I just think NCAA has a lot of power in that area, so I thought they could have maybe handled it differently. But overall, shout out to Clemson, dude. They are legit. Then we got Bama versus Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin used to be little Saban's little, bitch. Yeah, that's what I said. His little bitch, a little assistant coach, whatever. But good respect after the end of the game. They shook up, talked for a while. But Bama and Saban, dude, they are on a roll. I'm telling you what, dude, they're just something else. Matt Jones, their quarterback, he had 417 yards with 2 touchdowns, dude. Went off. Ole Miss's quarterback, Matt, went off, dude, too. He had 365 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Carroll, shout out to him, dude. But I'm telling you, the difference maker for Bama was their running back. Harris, he had 23 carries, 206 yards, and 5 touchdowns, dude. This dude, it's crazy because Alabama, they just breed the best running backs, don't they? They just continue to breed and breed and breed. And I would say the worst running back to come out of Bama that I remember is Trent Richardson, and he got selected by, I believe, the Colts or the Browns it was, and he just did not pan out. He was a bust. Even then, dude, he was a dog. But every Alabama running back is a dog, dude. And Harris is going to be another great one. I mean, it's crazy how Alabama just breeds them, dude. Just like Indiana breeds great basketball players. It's just day in and day out, dude. They have the best top running backs in NCAA football. And they go on to the next level. Mark Ingram. The list goes on and on, dude. It's crazy to me, but what a week for college football, dude. Some great upsets. Like I said, Mizzou over LSU, Texas A&M over Florida. Crazy. But this weekend's matchup's going to be great between Georgia and Alabama. I cannot wait to what's going to happen there. I kind of want to see Georgia get the upset, but you just never know, baby. It's the Cloud with Cavs show. Let's go!